Saying that 2021 was a rough year would be an extreme understatement. The worst thing that could possibly happen happened. In October, I lost my oldest son, Trey, and to this day I'm still waiting for answers. Things with so-called family definitely went south after my son passed. I truly got a glimpse of how certain people were, that have always been there, but I chose to ignore it. 2022, I'm not taking any bullshit from anybody. I've learned no matter what you do, certain people are going to talk shit about you anyway. Now, I'm going to give you a reason to. Not saying I'm going to go and start any problems with anybody, because as I've said before, I don't have any problems with anyone. But I promise you, if you come to me on some bullshit, I'm going to give it to you. And that goes for anybody that dares to try me. Now, I know I'm not the baddest man on the planet. However, this year, you fuck with me or mine, and you're going to have to prove it to me. This still being Capricorn season, there's still a lot of birthdays coming up to be celebrated. And that's what I'm bringing into the new year. Love, life, and celebrations. I'm done with anybody that brings any negative energy into my world. If 2020 and 2021 has taught me anything, it's that when a person shows you who they are, believe them. I've been saying this for years, and these last 2 years has shown me how true it is. People get mad when you change. No, correction. People get mad when you change that doesn't benefit them. I hear constantly how much I've changed. But isn't that the whole idea? Isn't that a sign of growth and maturity? I moved from upstate New York to Concord, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte, about 10 years ago. Do people really expect me to be the same person I was when I left? Now this may sound biased because it's me, but I've always taken the high road, and I will continue to do so. I'm just realizing that sometimes that means you have to speak people's language in order for them to understand what you're saying, which may appear to be stooping to their level. That's not always the case. Sometimes you have to take a quick visit back to their level in hopes that they utterly understand that you're not playing anymore and you're not going to let their childish behavior go on any longer. Again, I know that I am far from perfect, but as I've always told my kids, I strive for perfection every day, and it doesn't matter what it is that I'm doing. If you know me or have been following me the last few years, you see, I'm into bettering people's lives. I do credit restoration because, as we know, credit is a huge thing and it's not taught in schools. I'm going to create courses online where people can learn about finances and credit. I've gotten into house flipping and real estate investing to provide people with good homes at affordable prices so they aren't killing themselves for a job that can give two shits about them. I've been a certified personal trainer. I've been certified as a personal trainer. And by the end of February, I should have a certification in health and nutrition to help people become healthier. I'm on a platform called Convene Communities, where I will also have things on mental health. I think that's where the majority of my time will be spent, on the mental health, especially for men. Relax, women. I know we all need to be wary about our mental health, but I just turned 45, and as a black man, I know men in general don't like to talk about their mental state, fear of being called weak or soft. I know personally that it's hard to talk about your mental well-being for a plethora of reasons. The question is, why is that? Society has done some wickedness to us, man. They've been on some wicked things, and we have to unlearn a lot of it. This in itself is frightening. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm here to tell you that's bullshit. You can't teach an old dog that doesn't want to learn new tricks. I want to hear from the fellas on this. Why is it so hard for you to talk about your feelings and mental state? Do you feel if you open up you'll be considered soft or not a real man? Do you think that people won't take you serious? Do you think people will laugh and be like, yo, this dude is wildin'? I've heard it all. 2022, we have to change that. They have all these movements nowadays, and not to leave women out, but I want to create a men's mentality workshop. I'll do a separate one for women. However, I would like to bring a strong-minded female into the fold because, let's be real, men are more comfortable talking to men about these things, as I'm sure women are more comfortable talking to other women about these things. If by chance I'm wrong, please let me know. This year, my granddaughter turns 1 year old, and I'm going to make sure her Her mother and her older brother are completely taken care of and have everything that they need. I plan on by the summer to be in position to purchase some land to build homes on, maybe 1 or 2 5 or 6 unit constructs that I'll be able to help families in need. This COVID thing is not going away anytime soon, and the rate that people are dying is scary. The first rule of combat is divide and conquer, and that's exactly what's going on right now in history. Don't fall for it. This is where things get crazy, because most, if not most, a large amount of people are only concerned with themselves. There are some selfish people that don't even care about their own children, just themselves, and they are playing right into the trap. I used to tell my kids all the time, the answer that you seek, you already know. Just for whatever reason, you don't want to believe it. The school systems has failed us. The government has failed us. When are we going to wake up and realize that we have to do things ourselves? Now, I'm not saying take the law into your own hands, but when are we going to wake up and understand that certain things, important things, critical things have to be done on our own? I constantly ask myself, are you afraid of success? I believe honestly that a lot of us are, but why? We've been programmed to second guess ourselves, especially in times that can create a better life or situation. That's exactly why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to start investing in ourselves instead of following the masses and doing what they want us to do? This is the time. As I've said a few times, from this point on, I'm all about empowering and bettering myself and those around me. I know I can't change the world all by myself, but I also know that I can spark the change, and that's what I'm doing. I recently met a lady on a Facebook group for parents that have lost a child, and she's told me that I've helped her with my podcast. I want to help at least 10 people per month in any way possible, whether it be through financial literacy, personal training, which I'm currently working on a nutrition and wellness certificate, house flipping or mental health. I'm also looking for about 5 people that really want to not only change themselves, but help change the world. As we know, the world definitely needs some saving these days. I also think I'm going to get back into coaching football again. I have some people back home that are putting together an AAU football team, and it's giving me that itch again. As most of you know, sports has been a huge part of my life, and since I can no longer play, coaching will scratch that itch for me. I've also thought about taking the course to become a high school football referee. The time is now to take action if you want anything to change. Tomorrow isn't promised to any of us. The end of 21 was heartbreaking in many different ways. People are passing away at an alarming rate. If I'm not mistaken, there were like 3 or 4 rappers that were killed. They were part of the new generation of music, so I wasn't too familiar with their music, but still. Then in the last few days of the year, we lost 2 icons, John Madden and Betty White. John Madden, he embodied football. He was the definition of football. Most of the younger generation know him from the popular football game, the Madden game for the PlayStation or for the Xbox. But he was football way before that. When he was hired by the Oakland Raiders back in 1968, he was only 32 years old, making him the youngest head coach in the league. He would win over 100 games in 10 seasons, making him the winningest coach in history, as well as winning the Super Bowl. Then he went into broadcasting, where his love for the game of football really shined through. It's crazy because they had a special on for him just a few days before he passed away, and I learned that he actually was hired to teach a class as a professor on football at UC Berkeley right after he retired from the Raiders. Once he got into the broadcast booth, he literally changed the way football was covered. He worked for all the major networks at one time or another. Then he changed the video games when he dropped the first John Madden football game. I remember being at my friend Frank's house after school almost every day. If I'm not mistaken, they only had like 12 or 16 teams. It wasn't even fully licensed by the NFL. The rest, as they say, is history. Then, on New Year's Eve, Betty White passed away, only 18 days prior to turning 100. I heard that they were planning a big celebration for her 100th birthday. I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Betty White is. Of course, I remember her for her role as Rose in The Golden Girls. What I didn't know until I got older is that she was the oldest out of all of them. And I believe on the show she was the youngest one. Her character was the youngest. And then I also remember her playing Elka in that show Hot in Cleveland. Then don't forget, Cicely Tyson passed away in January of 2021. That's 3 icons that were lost right there, and there's more. So please, if there's something that you want to do it now. I have a lot of things coming down the line, and I can't wait to take you guys on this crazy ride with me. Don't be fooled with social media or the media, period. There are a lot of people doing some amazing things. Soon, I will be doing this show strictly on mental health and what we need to do so people know there is nothing wrong with not being okay mentally. We all have those times where it feels like the weight of the world is on our shoulders. And it's those times that we have to understand. It's okay to ask for help or tell someone that you're not okay. As always, I genuinely appreciate you taking your time to listen to my show. I'm also going to keep saying, please engage. Please leave a message for an invite to be on the show or even a topic you'd like to hear being talked about on the show. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the flip side.